All right, everybody. It is Thursday night. It is another edition of Thursday Night Barbecue Chat here in the It's All About the Barbecue Black Zone and Beer studio. I am Steve Kress. I am with It's All About the Barbecue, and during the week and during the days, I am the grill department manager over at Wanamaker's, the epicenter of grilling and smoking in the western suburbs of Chicago. And the man sitting next to me, as always, looking quite stellar today for National Pasta Day. Yes, it's the chairman of the board, Mr. Ryan Hoagland. What's up, buddy?
What's up there, Steve? How's it going, everybody? Welcome in Thursday Night Barbecue Chat. Happy to be back for another show.
Yeah, it's another Thursday, and it's not only Pasta Day, it is National Pizza Month. Last year, we did a big, huge thing for Pizza Month. It went over to the Lyle Pizza Academy, and we ended up doing some pizzas. We had Matt Frampton from I can't think of his name, Urban Slicer on, and we had Mr. Jerry Belcastro on from the Pizza Cookoff Association, who is here again tonight. But before we started all that, as always, whenever Operation Barbecue Relief is deployed somewhere in this country, I do like to have them come on here because I want people to know that they're there to help raise support through donations and also to help rile up the volunteers to get some people out there to keep making sure everything is helped out. This time, with this last between Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton, Operation Barbecue Relief is actually deployed, I believe, right now in 3 different places. They are in eastern Tennessee, they are in North Carolina, and they are in Pinellas Park down there in Florida, serving some mega meals. I can tell you that. I've been looking at some of the numbers, and they have been shooting out the meals, and the volunteers get a huge pat on the back. And thank you all for still being there. I was down in Tallahassee about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, or whatever it is now. And I can tell you, it's always a rewarding experience. So let's bring on Mr. Emlyn. Bring Emlyn Thomas on. There he is. He is the site lead down there in Pinellas Park. I'm hoping to get the other 2 guys to come on. We'll see what ends up happening. But Emlyn, what's going on down there in Pinellas Park? How you guys doing?
A little bit of this and a little bit of that. We've been busy this week. We have done. We did over 55,000 meals today. We set a new OBR single site record yesterday.
Don't say that, Emlyn. Don't say that, Emlyn. Don't say that was what you did, because that's my record. I want it to be a part of.
We're going to set another one tomorrow. You're welcome to come back down.
Yeah, I wish I could.
Yeah, we're grinding, and it's been great. The community has been super supportive. The state of Florida is amazing. All of our sponsors, the people that really help drive OBR, like Blue Rhino and Airlink and Sunbelt and Old Hickory Pits. In fact, we just put in a new Hogzilla today, and I think the plan is going to be that we're going to pull another Hogzilla out of North Carolina shortly and bring it down here as they start to wind down a little bit. But we got a tremendous amount of firepower here. Our Amazon has been a gracious host to let us use a soon to open deployment center that they've got, a fulfillment center here for this deployment. And we had last count I saw, and I'm probably a few short, we had 111 volunteers here.
Excellent.
Yeah, we've got people that our core team and our leads and our fast team, we've flown in from across the country. And then we've got a bunch of local volunteers. We have a couple of groups that have joined us. Girls Who Walk St. Pete are a group of young ladies that walk in the mornings. They've given up their walks, and they've traded that in for red T-shirts and baseball caps, and they've come in, and before work, they're banging out a couple hours. We've got a group called National EMR. They've come in and deployed with us, and they're here from 6 a.m. till 6 o'clock at night. And we've had some folks from the Cheney Brothers, one of our suppliers of product. They've come in as well, too, and given us a few hours of their time. So it's been great to have all of that. We're gearing up. We're servicing a need, and it has been, even for our experienced volunteers, the amount of need that we have has been very disturbing to them. We've got a lot of people that are just hungry. And Jay Collins, who's on our leadership team, he had a conversation with a fellow the other day, and the guy said, point blank to him, he said, listen, I run a mobile home park for seniors 55 and up, which is fairly common here in Florida. And he said, I don't know how to tell you this, but he said, I've had some senior citizens that haven't eaten in 4 days. And he said, you were literally saving lives. So we shared that at our safety briefing. We had a situation 2 days ago. We had sent a food truck out. We partner right now. This is a thing we started 2 years ago at Hurricane Ian, where we partner with some food trucks, and we had 10 of them out in the field where we'll load them up with 2,000 meals in the morning. We'll send them out into specific areas that we work with in conjunction with the state of Florida's Emergency Operations Center, because we have Mike Richter's in the EOC, and we're picking spots so we can deploy them and move them even to different spots from day to night if we want to. And we're able to use them as mobile extensions of our feeding ability. So we had them out with 2,000 meals, and they sold out of meals. And when they did, they had a line of cars about 3/4 of a mile long.
Wow.
And we had to call deputy sheriffs to get them out of there. And you would think, okay, we sent them in an area where there was nobody else. Actually, no, we had 2 other food trucks with 2,000 meals each, all within a half-mile radius. So it shows you exactly how bad the need is right now, where people are. We talked to some people in line today that were going through our feeding lines, and they're projected to be without power for another week at this point. So while the linemen are working hard and they're getting some people up, there's still a lot of people in need, and we're doing our very best, and we're working as hard as we possibly can to load up our smokers and crank up our tilts and get as much food out as we can.
We can't hear you, Steve.
Steve, you're on.
Sorry, Trisha was talking on the phone, so I put my mic on. It was probably your favorite moment of the whole show.
That was kind of nice. I mean,
I know that what I was asking is how many meals you guys did today. I know the record was in Houston, and I believe it was around 55,000 meals in one day in one single location. What did you guys crank out today, Jerry?
55,650. Yesterday was 59,250.
wow.
This is close to 60,000.
Congratulations to all the
thank you.
Congratulations to all the volunteers out there. That is a record I've been shooting for a while. I know it's not nice to say, but I just know that Operation Barbecue Relief, when everything is aligned and everybody is doing what they're supposed to be doing, we can crank out meals like you will not believe. Just shy of 60. Congratulations to everybody that is down there, all the volunteers in Pinellas Park. I know there's a bunch of good ones down there. You deserve a big, huge pat on the back. And there's another milestone that you guys reached as well. I saw the pictures today.
Yeah, this has been a week of numbers. We're already at 250,000 meals on this deployment. We haven't reached a week. We're closing in on 1 million meals this year for Operation Barbecue Relief. And today, the governor of Florida handed out the 12 millionth meal that Operation Barbecue Relief has served.
Excellent.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I do have to say, as I said last week, and it's mind-blowing. There's 12 million meals. I am proud to say that I have probably been a part of 1.1 million of those meals. It is truly a rewarding that the meals add up quick. I wasn't even close to 1 million until Port Charlotte, where when I left, I had done 492,000 meals in 17 days, and it adds up quick. Thank God all those people are getting what they need, and that one hot meal is getting to where they belong. And Emlyn, thanks for doing all that, and make sure you tell the volunteers that they did a rocked out job, because that's amazing. That's been a number I've been shooting for a while. As a volunteer, you look for little things, but that's an amazing number.
Yeah, that's just awesome. From what I'm getting from this, Emlyn, what you're saying though is with Steve not being there, things run better and it's getting more product out.
No, Steve's a great help. Trust me.
Right.
We're lucky. We have a lot of really, really good people that give tirelessly and selflessly, and people are giving up their vacation time. People are changing their work schedules. Jason Fudge was with Steve and I up in Tallahassee. He works for the legislature, and he's a big OBR volunteer here in Florida. And it was 6 o'clock in the morning until 9 o'clock. And it's like, hey, I got to go. I got to take a quick change and I got to get into work. And we've got some people doing the exact same thing here. So we're lucky. We've had a number of people, and you start to think about the 12 million meals, but you think about how many volunteers have been a part of that. And we had a great example of it a couple days ago. We were up in Tallahassee, and we were cranking out meals, and we had a couple of interns from a U.S. Senator's office come in. and they were excited and they were doing their thing, and we had them doing various jobs. And Steve Primrose, who's one of our sides leads, walked over and he said to this young fella, he said, "Hey, what'd you do today? When you go home, what are you going to tell people you did?" So he starts rattling off, "I was crushing cans and I was putting stickers on my clamshells and I was doing this and I was doing that." And Steve stopped him and said, "No, that's not what you did." And the kid's like, No, that's what I did. And he starts going into it again. Steve said, "No, time out." He said, "I've been timing you. Since you got here today, we have put out 11,000 meals." And I thought the kid's head was going to explode because he didn't think of it that way. But every little bit that our volunteers do, and we have people of different skills. We get people like Steve that are into barbecue, that really love barbecue. We have some acclaimed pit masters. I mean, Larry Mush he won a KCBS contest the week before he deployed. He was grand champion, came in here, and he worked in the dish pit for the entire week. There's a lot of jobs that go into making that clamshell that we hand to a guest to give them that one hot meal that matters. So everybody has been really important for us. We've gotten a lot of support here, and it's a little humbling at times to think about how many people we've served, and it's a little we're a little frustrating because we can't serve more, but we're trying very hard. The 55,000 that Steve talked about, we blew through that. We're going to ramp up more. We just added a giant old hickory that we call Hogzilla. It's actually the second Hogzilla because our original is up in North Carolina. So the new one is here now. She's hooked up. She's fired up. We're testing her out. Johnny I, who's our director of culinary, is adding in a diversified kitchen so we can produce more different meals right now. And that will give us the ability to do some quick turns with some one pots. We're hooking up the BPS machine so we can grill burgers and do a whole bunch of different things. So that'll give us anywhere from 5,000 to 9,000 additional meals a day.
That's amazing. And that's awesome. And just so everybody knows, if you are an Operation Barbecue Relief volunteer and you are on any of the sites, I highly, highly recommend that you do one of the where they go and they hand out the meals, whether it be search and feed or just going to the sites to hand out. You need to, and I talk about all my time in Panama City because that's where it all started for me. And that's where I saw where the meal goes, and you see the reactions on people's faces. You need to experience it's fun in the production tent. And I'm not going to say it's not. It's where there's camaraderie. You're working like a fine, well-oiled machine. There's music playing. You're having a great time. But you need to know where that ends. You need to go out and you need to see where that ends and see the reason that you're doing it. It is such a moving thing. It adds it puts a whole new perspective on what you're doing there. And a lot of people know it, but until you experience it, you don't understand. We always say that one hot meal that matters, but until you actually see it on somebody's face, how much it does matter. I know there was a story from people in Hammond that there was neighbors, I believe, that didn't talk to each other and this and that. And, lady came and got food, and she got food for her neighbor as well. And they ended up bonding that relationship over a barbecue meal. You just don't know how touching that one meal is, and to see it go to where it belongs. I highly recommend it. If you haven't done it, please do it. It will change your life even more than just the volunteering does. It changed mine, just seeing people with nothing else and the thank yous, the sincere. If you've never had a sincere thank you, let me tell you, it rips at your heart. It's different when somebody opens the door and you say thank you to them. But when you see somebody with everything in their car and they don't know what tomorrow is going to bring, and you hear a thank you over a silly clamshell meal, it just rips you apart.
Yeah, we've had some experiences like that. We got Bruce Josie out. He's a lead for us. He's an area coordinator for the state of Delaware. He's down here with his wife. He's deployed a number of times. Today was his first day out in the field, and as hardened a volunteer as he is, he needed some time to process it when he was done. We had a situation today. We had people, it happens all the time. People break down in tears. They cry in line. And this deployment has seen us see something else. We've helped one of our own. Alan Jones, who I know you know, Steve,
Mhm.
He's a great volunteer. He's been with us all the way. He was personally affected. He was without power. His neighbors, he was picking up meals, and he walked in and had his t-shirt on. He was in full work mode. This guy's an ex-firefighter. He's retired. He comes in and he's an upbeat, up-tempo, all-go volunteer. He came in and he was in full-on volunteer mode, and he was chatting, and I just put my hand on him and I said, "Hey, how are you doing?" And he stopped. He goes, "Oh, I'm fine." And then he just kept going, and he was just going and going. But he's been personally affected by it a different way, because it's him now. It's his neighbors. It's people that he knows. And as he was walking out, he said, "Thanks." He goes, "Not a lot of people have been asking me how I am." And he put his arms around me. And this is a grown adult man, pushing 60, complete breakdown of tears in my arms. And here's a guy he's done this. I mean, he's been there for the big ones. He was at Ian when we did 865,000 meals in 38 days. He knows what it's like. But now that he's on the other side of the fence, and fortunately his power's back up, he's got himself situated, his family's good, his neighbors are good, he's back in the fold as of today. But it's different. It's emotional, it's personal, and we talk a lot about, finding your why. Why do we do this? Why do you give up time? Why do you give up time with your family? Why do you sweat and work long hours and get up at the crack of dawn or before it to check the pits and to pull product and to empty the tilts? And why do we do it all? It's because of those moments where we're able to provide somebody with more than just a meal, with really a sense of hope when they've lost everything. We've got people sleeping in tents here that have lost everything. And we're just trying to give them some semblance of hey, we're here. It's going to get better. And hopefully we can provide some semblance of that to them, some normalcy of a hot meal, that maybe this isn't going to be your forever world now.
Right. All right, Emlyn, I'll let you guys get back to it. Thank you again for popping on. Donnie Paul says he's in the room. I don't see him in the green room. I don't know where he's at, but
he's from Tennessee. He's not good with tech.
Yeah, well, I don't know. He sent me a picture saying that he was back there, so I don't know. Maybe it's because I sent you all guys a shared link. Maybe when you sign off, maybe he'll pop in. I don't know.
Donnie's in Eastern Tennessee and Skeeter's up in North Carolina. Fortunately we're winding down a little bit in Eastern Tennessee, and I know Skeeter's been busy with Lewis Pratt up in North Carolina. We've been using pack mules and drones to get meals up to the mountains to feed people. So wow. I'll bid you guys good night. Thank you very much, Steve and Ryan, for having me on. And I appreciate both of your support all the time for Operation Barbecue Relief. If anybody's interested and wants to learn more, if they want to donate, if they just want to learn about us, we got some great videos on our website. Or if they want to sign up and turn those thoughts and prayers into boots on the ground, obr.org is where they can get all the information they need. And we'd love to see them down here.
Excellent.
Yeah, no,
all right.
Good night, gents.
Thank us, Emlyn. Thank you and everybody that's down there doing everything you guys are doing. So
have a great night, fellas.
Appreciate it. You too.
Yep. See ya. Let's see what happened. Donnie Paul pops in. He sent me a picture that he was backstage. I don't know what ended up happening. Sorry, Donnie Paul. I don't know what happened to you, buddy. But yeah, I do recommend it. If you have ever thought about volunteering or doing anything, I am going to be the first one to tell you, 2018, it's scary. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. But I ended up finding a family. And I ended up doing an experience that was more rewarding than I even expected it to be. So if you can, please volunteer. Operation obr.org volunteers. Or if not, if you can give a donation. As you can see, they're still cranking out almost 60,000 meals a day, which to me is like,
that's just crazy,
incredible. It's just, if you think about it from where you live, just think about the town you live in. There's not too many suburbs in Chicago that you can think of that have 60,000 people in a suburb. Or if you take the fact that I say I do the 1.1 million meals. Okay. I think Cook County's got 2 million people. Okay. They just passed 12 million meals. Okay. The state of Illinois at the last census only had like 12 or 11 million people in the state. So OBR basically has made enough meals over the last 10, 11 years, 12 years to 13 years. I don't even know how long it's been. Geez Louise, I'm losing track. I think it's 13 years. And to basically give a meal to every single person in the state of Illinois. And it is just amazing. And sadly, it's getting quicker and quicker because the disasters are getting more frequent. They were out a lot this year. I know that, and especially as you saw the back-to-back hurricanes. So, so if you can get out there and donate. So let's change gears and
we'll get Jerry up here from the Pizza Cookoff Association. I just want to get caught up. Ari, how you doing? Welcome in.
Welcome.
Griddles and Vittles with Nick and Jay.
Yeah,
My guy Mojo, what's going on? Smoking Griddle Boys, how's it going? Terry White checking in from the North Pole, Alaska.
Wow.
And then Smoke Griddle Boy said, that's very moving, Steve. Thank you for sharing. These situations can change perspective on life. God bless you for your help.
Yeah, like I said, if you're a barbecuer or griddler or whatever, I mean, I don't do a ton of cooking, as Ryan likes to point out, but I can tell you right now, down in Tallahassee, I cooked, probably, there's 64 cases of pork butts at one time. So I don't know how many butts are in each one. I don't remember because you're unloading them, but so you can be a griddler. So
I was going to say, when he was talking about the burgers, I mean, he could have, he could have sent you down there.
I could have made.
But anyways,
we had
let's get back off to National Pizza Month.
Pizza Month, and our good friend, Jerry Belcastro. Sorry, Jerry, it took a little bit longer for that than I thought it was going to, but I thank you for your patience and welcome back to Thursday Night Barbecue Chat. And it's good to see you.
Good to see you guys too. And first, I got to say that was really moving for me. And when we get offline, I'm going to find a way to get involved in that because that's highly commendable, and I'd like to be a part of that. Now that I'm retired and I have some extra time, I'll give my help any way I can. So,
well, and the nice thing is he mentioned a couple sponsors in there. One of them is Earlink. Earlink does things with charities. So if you get in contact with Barbecue Relief and they're doing something in Florida, you can talk to them. And Airlink, what it does is it provides tickets or does something with seats that aren't being used or something. I don't remember how it all works because obviously I don't fly, so I don't know the exact. But they will actually find a way to get you down there, and then they do have the bunk houses and everything for you to stay. So if you don't have a trailer, you don't have a camper. If they have room, they got bunk houses and everything that you can stay in. That it's not the Ritz, it's not the Hyatt. I mean, it's basically a little cube that you get to sleep in, but at least it's a bed and it's air conditioned, or heated, depending on where you're at. So, but yeah, definitely check them out, Jerry.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
So Jerry,
for the people that are on Instagram and watching us, we do appreciate it. But it doesn't bring over the comments from Instagram, so we can't see. We have to flip back and forth, and it's kind of hard to do, especially when we're in such a deep conversation there. I didn't want to miss it.
Yeah, no, I got mine up. I got it fixed perfect. I got my phone right next to me looking at the Instagram feed so I can see it. Emlyn just replied. He said, thank you for having him on the show. Emlyn, thank you for taking time out to come on the broadcast. So Jerry, it's been about a year since you've been on. Believe it. We were just talking about this in the green room. I can't believe that it's already been a year since you've been on. How things going there with the Pizza Cookoff Association?
They're doing really well. I more than doubled what I did last year as far as events go. We had to cancel a few, couple because of the storms, but we had 8 events this year, and looking forward to probably adding 4 or 5 more next year. And it's really running great.
So give everybody a little lowdown on what's involved in the Pizza Cookoff Association. I mean, obviously everybody, mostly in barbecue, will know obviously a regular barbecue competition, and they'll know about the Steak Cookoff Association, and now there's the Rib Cookoff Association. How does yours work? How does it differ? Obviously, your pizza instead of pork, but how does yours differ, or is it somewhat similar in that kind of a pattern to the other events?
Yeah, it's somewhat similar. What I do though, I took 2 different judging formats. So in the first round, when everyone cooks, they get a 45-minute window to cook and turn in 1 pizza. So as you guys know, you can cook several pizzas within 45 minutes. In the cooks meeting, I tell those guys, hey, look, don't try to wait to the very last second like barbecue and steak. There's really no advantage to that because we tell them when you make a great pizza, turn it in. When that pizza comes in, we reassign it a different number so there's no hokey pokey going on, and it goes to the judges table. And we tell them not to cut the pizza because we want our judges to judge for appearance before we mutilate and try not to mutilate it too bad when we're slicing it, but we like to give the cooks the benefit and have them, our judges, judge it without us cutting it. We have a great sponsor, portion paddle, that we transfer it from our cardboard circle to that portion paddle. That portion paddle really serves two purposes. One, it gives our judges the outer 12 inches that we're looking for, whether it's round or square. So I have a round and a square portion paddle. And then actually, when we do, after they score for appearance, when we cut it, we get 6 perfect slices out of it. And from there, we only have 5 judges, and the table captain serves as a 6th person, but that table captain does not judge. So again, there's another reason behind that. We like to give that last judge a choice between those last 2 slices left. Sometimes that might be a charred part of that crust, or there might be one piece in there that's obviously sort of messed up. But so that gives that last judge a choice between those last 2 slices. And then that last slice will remain on that portion paddle during that judging time for them to reference back, during their judging period. So that seems to work really well for us. So here again, those pizzas come right to the table. They don't sit around, and that's the good thing. And we base the amount of judges on how many cooks, teams we do have. So it's basically one judge for every team out there. So we really don't want those pizzas sitting around. And then when we tally the scores, and some of our competitions vary from paying out the top 3. Sometimes we pay out top 3. Sometimes we pay out top 5. Depending on that, we tally the top 3 or 5 scores, and those cooks will cook in the finals. So we'll go out there and we'll announce those finalists. We give them 30 minutes from that point to go back and get their ovens back up to temp, get all the ingredients ready. And then when that 30 minutes expires, they get a 10-minute window to turn in for the final. So all 5 judges are turning in pizzas, within that 10-minute time frame. And then they'll go on one table and all get judged against each other for the prize money.
So we got, what are the categories on the judging? I heard appearance, but then what else do we have on the category?
And I have a category called construction. So it's basically just how it's built, and we look for a good ratio of sauce to cheese to toppings. And as long as one of those aren't overpowering or they overdid it on one of them, that's a pretty easy score of a 10. Did I tell my judges? And then we have crust is a whole separate category within itself. We're looking at the end crust and then at the bottom. And if we get a New Haven or something that's where it's built all the way to the edges, then we judge the bottom of that crust. And then that 4th category, of course, is taste. On the finals, we had a 5th category, and that's the overall impression score. So that score does have a decimal point, unique score attached to it. So there's no ties in any of our competitions.
What do you think?
Ran into that. I mean, I know Steve's going to give me a hard time with the griddle battle.
No, go ahead.
It's when you start doing them and stuff like that, and you come up to a tie, you're like, well, shoot, what do we do now, right? First competition we had, we came out with a tie. So
Really?
It's nice to see that there's not a possibility of a tie, which is awesome. But
Yeah, and I also have all the categories weighted different, where
Mhm.
your taste carries the most weight, your crust the next highest, and then construction and appearance. So, so probably had close to 20 events and never had a tie, knock on wood. So
Knock on wood. Just wait till the next one, Jerry.
Yeah, no, it's coming. That's going to be
How
a
lo-
3-way tie.
How long you guys been doing it? Because it's somewhat of a newer thing. But how long you guys been doing?
yeah,
it?
we started it, and the first competition was in May 22.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you're
But we only had 2 that first year, and then we had 4 last year, and then like I said, we had 8 this year. I went up to New York and had an event, and that was very very unique and really great for us, because usually I'm having the toughest time getting the cooks to participate, and the judges no problem. Up there, we had to turn away cooks, and it was hard to get judges. So we ended up having 24, and that was our biggest number of cook teams, and it was really fun. We're looking forward to going back and doing 2 events up there next year, and then I'm trying to a fellow from Weber Grill's headquarters there in Illinois, in Chicago area, reached out to me. He wants me to go and teach his team there, to have a judges class, and I have a person that's a member from the PCA that's in the Chicago area. So hopes are next year for her to become a rep, and if I get those pool of judges from Weber, look to have something in the Chicago area next year.
Oh, I like that. Just
That happens here. Let us know.
Yeah, definitely let us know. I got on Instagram. I got Barbecue Mike says, "What's up, guys?"
What's up,
So-
Barbecue Mike?
Barbecue Mike, yeah. So
You can hear
all
my
right,
dog with her bone going crazy up there on the
I
hardwood
know, I'm
floor.
like, what is going on over there? I hate to tell you, but I mean, obviously, I could kind of see that in New York, because I mean, New York makes pizza, but so I'm sure everybody there, thinks they make a good pizza. So I can see why you wouldn't find it, have a hard time finding competitors there, because second to Chicago, they have the best pizza probably.
True story.
True
Yeah,
story.
so you spoke of Matt Frampton from Urban Slicer. We actually went out to Omaha, where he lives, and had a competition there in June, earlier this year in June.
Yeah.
And that was a great time. Helping You Barbecue hosted the event there, and Ron and John were really great hosts for that. So we look forward to going back out there next year. Had the guy that promoted it's a Bud's. Let me see. I think I got the name written down here. Bud's Blues and Barbecue. They did their first event in Columbia, Missouri.
Okay.
They want to have a pizza cook-off next year. The folks contacted me from the Smoke on the Falls in Gadsden, Alabama, looking to add a pizza comp in April on their next competition. So, I want to try to get out to more pizza-driven cities, the bigger cities, and hopefully by doing that, take it to the next level and somebody pick up on it, or it'll start really taking off.
Is there a way to you mentioned that there was a member that was in the Chicago area, and that she's going to become like a representative type of person? Is there, if someone does have an interest in maybe, in another city, is there somewhere they contact that say, hey, I'm interested in becoming a trained judge, or being involved with it, and then maybe starting a branch out in a different city?
Yes. So if you go to my website, there would be a box, a pop up for a newsletter, and my contact information is also on my website. It's info@pizzacookoff.com. Just contact me and we'll go from there. But I've had a lot of people reach out to want to do that. It's just got a matter of, if I go to a new city, first there's got to be an interest, with a certain number of cooks involved. And then we got to probably put together a judges class in that city, either the day before or, a couple of days before, in order to make that happen. But we did that out in Omaha, had a judges class the day before, and Matt was part of that. And up in New York, we did the same thing, and it really worked out well.
Yeah, because I think that building the infrastructure for the competitions is probably almost as big of a challenge as actually pulling off the competition, because obviously, like you said, you're where you're at, and then to get new little cells opened up to where they can become a little bit more self-sufficient in reporting to the sanctioning body. That I can see where you're coming from with that. It's hard getting everything started up in different areas.
It is, but now I'm fully retired, a little bit more patient, have a little bit more time. So anyone interested, please feel free to reach out, and we'll see what we can make happen.
So I know we probably talked about it last time, but how do the events go? I mean, everybody brings their own pizza oven or whatever they're using.
Yeah, so we leave that wide open as far as cooking sources go. Ideally, the small little portable pizza oven's ideal, but we let them put a pizza stone on any type of grill. As we talked about last time, I think so many different grill companies are making adapters for pizzas, not just throwing a stone on there, because when you just put a stone on a grill and cook a pizza, you're not really getting that good convection air, that really takes to bake a pizza, and that's the magic's in the dough, right? So, a lot of the oven, the Big Green Egg has a pizza porta that they, one of my judges invented, and that really creates that airflow and cooks that pizza, within a few minutes. So, there's several ways. So we leave that wide open as far as what you could cook on. And my advice to anybody there is, hey, it doesn't really matter what you cook on. Just practice and perfect that at home. And we're actually looking for the perfect pizza. That's the end goal. So
it's kind of neat. I mean, to have an open cooking source, so it's propane, gas, whatever you're cooking on is I do like that part about it.
Yeah, I agree.
And there are a lot of portable pizza ovens out there. I know Steve sells some Steve's this way, backwards. Steve sells some at Wanamaker. So if you guys are looking for it, 1940.
Oh, Jesus.
Avenue, Downers Grove, Illinois.
Ryan's always good for the. So Jerry, I got to ask you, because I am a pizza, besides barbecue, number two to barbecue would probably be pizza. So were you a pizza connoisseur before you got started this whole thing? Or, I mean, how do you just sit there one day and say, hey, you know what, I'm going to start a pizza competition?
Well, the idea came to me sitting at home during COVID. My sister and I opened up an Italian restaurant and pizzeria back, in the 80s. And, from there, I had a career with Delta, but it's always been in my blood. I'm not an expert by no means as far as pizza goes. When I went out there to Omaha, and Matt actually had a class the day before I did, and that guy's a pizza aficionado. I mean, he knows pizza inside and out, and I learned when I was out there. But what I try to do is we invite anybody to compete, whether they're on the U.S. pizza team, but our true goal is to try to get the backyard cook, right? And what I try to do as far as my judging goes, I really try to keep it very simple. And the whole idea is to have fun. So I don't, I don't make it too complex. And when I have my classes, I like to have my judges' classes real small, ideally 6 at a time, because I really like to spend good one-on-one time with everybody and give them a clear understanding of what we're looking for. It's not really difficult, but we keep, a lot of people ask me, what style, or do you teach style, to recognize as they come across. And we do that comes up in the class, part of the judges class. We want people to recognize different characteristics of styles of pizza, but when everything boils down, if you keep your focus on the appearance and what we're looking for under the appearance, and then the construction, if you just really focus on those categories and what I teach, it really doesn't matter what the style is. If you hit all those marks and focus on those categories, then you get a high score.
Yeah, and then Jerry probably deals a little bit with the same thing that Ryan has with the griddle battles. And as soon as somebody hears competition, they automatically think that I can't do it. I just a guy that cooks pizza in my backyard. But that's not the case. The case is that I can honestly tell you, and I can, and Ryan might have seen a lot of them too. I can even tell you how many SCA cooks who just did their first SCA event where they did their first steak cook-off and they end up walking away with the golden ticket.
Yeah.
And when it comes to food and it comes to cooking, it's any given cook. It, like you said, doesn't matter if it's the U.S. pizza team is there. It doesn't matter. It's any given cook that you can win, but like you said, in the end, well, and in the end, the same thing with the griddle battle or just any competition. After it's over, it's the fun. It's the fun of just going against somebody else to cook and building a pizza family, just like the griddle crew and the griddle family and the barbecue family. And that's it. It's a camaraderie. It gets you out to do stuff. So please, if you like cooking pizza, hey, throw your hat in the ring and just see what happens. And if not, everybody gets to eat some good pizza and you had a good fun day.
Yeah, you couldn't have said that any better. And it's funny that we've had people from the U.S. pizza team compete, and sometimes they do good, and sometimes they come in dead last. It really comes down to cooking under pressure, and no one else knows that. And you guys know that, but until you actually do it one time, it's a different ball game. And that's why we give those cooks 45 minutes, to turn in one pizza. And sometimes, that 45 minutes is like a blink of an eye too. But if you're ready and if you really do it and practice at home, I can't tell the cooks enough, hey, the more you practice and get your whatever you're doing at home, don't change a thing when you come to a competition. But you have 45 minutes to turn in one good pizza, and people are having fun with it. It's really been pretty neat.
And like you said, 45 minutes. Now, is that 45 minutes from dough rising and all that other stuff, or can you come in with pre-risen dough balls and all that other kind of stuff?
Right.
So I mean, so that's the beauty of it. Like Jerry was saying, I mean, anybody that follows even a lot of those, like the unis or the gaznis or the alphas or this, 45 minutes, you can take your time. Yes. I mean, a lot of those pizza cookers are designed to cook out a pizza every 2 to 3 minutes. I mean, so just relax and just do your thing. Cause I mean, you can cook a lot of pizzas in 45 minutes.
Have fun. Meet your neighbor.
That's right.
Meet your neighbor. Right.
It's all about. But I did put the website up here, the Pizza Cook-off.com.
Yeah.
You guys can go to the website. It has everything on here, from events that are coming up, membership, sponsorships, judges, promoters. And the other side to it is if you don't like to cook but you like to eat, become a judge. Like sign up and be a judge. I mean, I'm not, not registered anymore, but I was a CBJ for KCBS, and I enjoyed it, getting to see what other people do. And, that I know a lot of people that actually go into judging first and learn that side of it, and then go back and start doing the competitions, because now they know what everybody's looking for.
That's a smart thing to do.
So, that's all right there on the website, guys. It's, what is it? You got to be at least 18. You got to be a current judge. Sign up. What is it? 50? I see $50.
What we do not do is you don't have to be a member to cook. So, if our entry fees, they might range from $125 to $150 for an event. That we're not going to tag on the membership fee to for you to cook too, because people look at what you get for your money, and to tag on that membership fee, that might deter some people from cooking. But we don't charge. You don't have to be a member to cook. You do have to be a member to judge and keep your certification for judging, but that's pretty normal. But we have some great sponsors, Urban Slicer being one of those. We have Mike's Hot Honey on board. We have Caputo Flour on board. We just got within this year, and we give away some nice little swag bags to the cook team. So you actually do get something for your money when you enter one of these competitions, walking away with some bottle of Mike's Hot Honey and some other products. So anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out anytime.
Yeah, because I think it's a whole different thing. I mean, obviously, the other ones we were talking about, Rib Cook-Off, and you're talking about the SCA and stuff like that. It all revolves around a barbecue type of subcategory. But the Pizza Cook-Off is kind of like a whole different. I'd love for one to be here, because I hate to tell you, I'd love to be a judge. I don't know if I could cook one. I don't know. I'm a trained professional now. That last year I did it. I cooked that pizza at the Pizza Academy.
What is the professional pizza name?
Oh, I can't remember. It's not. It's not sommelier. It's something.
Oh, that's
something
wine.
else.
I don't remember it either. I was just trying to put you on the spot since you were there.
Yeah, well, I was given an honorary one. I just don't remember what the name of it is. God, I can't think of what the heck
try
it
to
is.
Google it and see.
You don't know it off the top of your head, do you, Jerry? The name of the certified.
Oh, the Pizziola.
Yeah. There it is. Roy said it. Of course, Roy would know. Roy's like an insider. Jerry knows. Pizzola.
Pizziola.
Yeah, there it is.
Good job, Roy.
Good job, Roy. Yeah,
that's right.
But yeah, no. So anyway, but I just don't be scared to go and go out there and compete. What do you find most people are? What do you find most people are cooking on though, Jerry? I mean, did any of them kind of just bring their kettle grill and throw some charcoal in there or whatever it is, and some wood and cook on a stone, or are they I mean, when they're coming out, are they bringing the big guns? You got anybody be dragging like an Alpha out there, or what is that?
Hey, it's been from A to Z actually. We've had folks pull up, with ovens on back of trailers out in Omaha. A couple of our events here in Georgia, up in New York, we had a couple really fancy ovens on back of trailers. But the most common, ones you mentioned are Uni and Gosney. Gosney actually came out with they had a real small rock box that was that was really, I mean, it's a nice little oven, but you got to really be on top of your game on that one, because there's really not much. Making a 12-inch pizza, you don't have much play in there. Making a 10-inch pizza a lot better. But they came out with a 16-inch stone, and that oven was very popular up in New York. I think about six cook teams brought that out. It's called the
Arc.
I think it's
the Arc XL.
Yeah, the Arc. Because they have the dome, that's really, but that one's close to $2,000, and it's pretty heavy. So they actually came out with the one in the middle there, that Arc, and that one's a great oven. Halo for the money. The Halo ovens are really great because, I think they're on sale now for $450. It's got a 16-inch stone. It rotates. So that way, you launch your pizza before you turn on the for the oven to rotate. But if you launch it, pretty much center on that stone and then turn it on, you don't have to worry about turning it. And that, I cooked on one for the first time out in Omaha when I was doing my class. That was really cool because, I could start making another one and not have to worry about, tending to that one that was in the oven. So, alphas, I've seen a couple of them out there. I bring mine out. I'll lend mine out when I can. Alpha was nice enough to give me 6 ovens, ranging from the smallest one up to the biggest one. And if somebody's interested in cooking and they don't have an oven, I'll loan them one of mine just to get it, get in the game and cook. So, yeah.
I mean, if you have any extras, Jerry, and you want to send
he
a
does.
pizza
He's got
oven.
6 of them for his
Well,
competition.
I know, but I'm just saying, if you want to, have
if he wants to loan one out to you when you want to come down and do a competition, he said he would.
I do have to say, I mean, Jerry does have a point with that rotating stone, and I know Ryan Blackstone's got one too with the rotating stone in it, because I know you were going to say something about it. I did find that turning. I saw you over there, like it chomping at the bit to say Blackstone has one with the rotating stone on it. Yes. So I'm just going to cut you right off there and not even give you your props to do it. I do have to say, though, turning the pizza, when I was at the Pizza Academy, that's kind of nerve-wracking a little bit to try and get it on that thing and like trying to get it to spin. So, yeah, so having the rotating stone would be a huge thing.
Yeah, I actually like spinning mine. It's sort of an art, especially when you have a wood-fired oven, and turning the pizza. And when I do my class, I got 2 ovens on the back deck, and I always light up the wood-fired and the propane, and cooking both of them. And surprisingly enough, you would think the wood would impart more flavor on a pizza, but it's not in there that long to really unless you're really cooking with a mesquite or some strong type of wood, but cooking with oak. But it's just cool to have the fire, and there's an art to it. It's really, really fun for me to teach. And, I teach classes to anyone that wants to learn just at home. And then I have classes for those that want to, compete. And I give them all my recipes and do's and don'ts, about little tips about, cooking on a pizza screen. That's one way to keep your pizza perfectly round. You start it on a screen, put it in the oven, let that stay in there for about 30, 45 seconds so that dough rises. Take it back out, take that screen off, sauce it and cheese it and top it and then put it back in, So there's all kind of little tricks to the trade, and it's pretty cool.
Well, you said you're in Georgia, Jerry. Georgia isn't really known for pizza. Maybe that's why the competitions are having a little harder time starting up, down, and
you're exactly right. So that's why I'm going to sort of branch out. My goal this year was to, double my events and get more events. I did that. We're going to actually be a part of the Hog Drop, which is a Michael Mixon and Myron Mixon event. New Year's Eve. We were trying to do it this year, but we're gonna hold off and do it next year. It's our 10-year anniversary. But yeah, I need to get out to bigger cities and where the pizza's more prominent and make it happen there. And I think once I do that, like I said, and I think the word will get out a little better, and we'll have some better turnouts.
Well, I know we're getting close to our hour here, but so what kind of pizzas are people turning in? Is it your typical sausage pepperoni, or are they doing all the fig?
I mean, we've seen a lot of different things, and a couple of events ago, Doc Holliday, we actually got our first Chicago deep dish.
Oh,
And
wow.
And you know, he was very smart on the way she did it because, you know, she cooked it on I think she cooked it on a Rectech.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it took about 40 minutes, but you know, our rules, you do not, you could start that pizza at any time. If you make the finals, you could, you know, you have that 10-minute window, but you could start, you know, before then. He nailed that pizza in every way. When it came in, and you know, it looked perfect because it, you know, it was in a pre-made pan, but it was perfectly round. The appearance was beautiful. When I went to cut it, I was sort of expecting it to sort of the ingredients to sort of pour out the sides, but it stood up just like a soldier. Kept its shape. All the slices were perfect. And then she put some meatballs in there for her meat, and kept it pretty simple, but it tasted great, and she won that competition.
I did one deep dish once.
What happened, Ryan? Did you mess it up?
Gotta keep at it, man. You can't do something once.
I know. I need to do it more. Well, Blackstone has the Ligero pizza oven, which is in Italian. It means light, and it's a great little pizza oven. It's just got a small opening on it. So I did get the 22-inch attachment, so it's I can fit a bigger pizza in there. Everything was hitting the top a little bit when I was putting my pizza in, and yeah, I did a deep dish, and I don't know, like the dough just didn't rise when I had it. And,
what did she cook that? What did she cook that? And sorry to interrupt you, Ryan, but now you have me like so intrigued. Ryan just mentioned. I mean, most of your pizza ovens, the openings aren't that big.
Put it on a Rectech.
Oh, you said Rectech. Okay, you're right.
Rectech.
You're never mind. See, I wasn't even paid. I was
lost. Not paying attention to our.
Well,
he said
deep dish pizza, and of course my eyes.
Envisioning
this beautiful.
I have a Primo oven on my deck, and I've cooked deep dish. I have the green egg porcelain mold for it, but I cook it on my Primo, and those things come out great. Mine takes about 20 to 25 minutes to cook, and I cook it a little slower. I cook it around 350 on that, but she said she cooked hers at about 275, and it took about 40 minutes.
Okay.
And I guess, you know, if you play around with it to get that dough and everything done around the same time, I mean, that's the whole magic cooking a pizza.
Would you cook yours at, Ryan? What temperature did you cook yours at?
I don't remember, but it wasn't cooked all the way through, so it kind of just got thrown out.
Yeah, don't give up on it.
But yeah, you don't give up. You just got to keep practicing on it. That's, you know, and of course it was really store-bought dough. It wasn't, you know, I have never made my own dough yet, so I need to get some classes on that so I can start making my own dough.
I'll send you a couple of recipes that are.
I appreciate that.
Easy.
Yeah, you know, I'm asking for recipes. I'm not asking for any spare pizza ovens that you got laying around.
Well, I don't have anything to cook. I mean, I can ask for recipes, but I don't have anything to cook it on. And I would use it. I mean, I would promote the Pizza Cookoff, that the pizza oven was donated by the Pizza Cookoff Association, right? I mean, I would be kind to, you know, advertise for Jerry, but
yeah.
I mean,
well, let me talk to Alpha, see what I can do for you.
See, if they're just sitting around, Brian, I mean, why not? I mean, if Alpha wants to, I mean, I'll advertise for Alpha too. I'll even do a show live of me cooking on this pizza oven.
Oh man,
how exciting and fun-filled packed adventure would that be?
Yeah,
as long as it comes out better than this burger, we'll be all right. But
that's a championship burger, Ryan, and you know it is. So,
oh well. Yeah, Jerry, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. National Pizza Month. It's always a pleasure. Congrats to you for doubling your contests and your competitions. I mean, I know what I'm getting there. I haven't been doing it for as long as you have, but I know what it's like to try to expand out. And, you know, that's my next step, is trying to get it out of just my local area.
Yeah.
It's a little tougher to try to go on the road and do one, but hey, it's doable. And
Yeah.
You just go where the pizza leads you to, and
Yeah.
it's just been fun.
What if we can do one in combination, like a griddle battle and Pizza Cookoff Association?
Yeah, man, sure can.
Boy, see, listen to Jerry. You
Yeah.
sure can, Ryan. Why couldn't you?
Well, I'm just saying we should talk, and maybe we should do
All
something.
right, well, there you go. You guys can talk
We
afterwards.
can do the fall brawl, griddle battle,
Be-
Pizza Cookoff Association.
I think there's going to be a representative in the area now, and Jerry would come out. He's retired now.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, let's talk. Let's see if we can
All right.
put some of that together. Because I've got pizza people that I've done a pizza on a Blackstone. Didn't tasted great to me. I don't know how well it do to the judges, but so what do you like? I guess that I know we're running over an hour, but now stuff's popping in my head. Like, so your judges are they mostly in Georgia or?
No, actually, I have a pool. We had 2 classes in Huntsville, Alabama, and those judges came from Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee. It's funny you asked that because I had a friend ask how many judges do you have in how many different states, and I have 122 certified judges in 12 different states. So we have some in Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, in that area.
Oh,
We have, of course, from the South, all around Alabama, Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, Carolinas. And then out in Omaha, the guy came from Montana. Where else do we have? We had Colorado. Have a gentleman who's trying to get me. He's friends with the owner of the Colorado Rockies. He's trying to get a competition out there for us next year. So, yeah,
next year could be your thing. Yeah, you have a good with just the judges. You have a good framework out there. If you get them flipped to some kind of a rep or something. Geez, just New York, New Jersey, and if you get going here in Chicago, that's a lot. There's a lot of pizza right there.
Yeah, sure is, and that's sort of where I'm headed because I've tapped. My wife and I are certified judges for the Georgia BBQ Association. We actually just completed our 24th event this past weekend, and we put in our paperwork for master judges for the GBA. But what I've done, I've done a lot of networking with and we're sort of the ancillary on Fridays for a lot of these competitions. And I've talked to a lot of barbecue folks, and I get it. They're there to cook barbecue and to throw pizza into the mix. Some of them it's a little too much, and I totally get it. So I really have to find that pizza niche, and where else to find them in but Chicago, New York.
Right.
Detroit's going to be on my list, Philadelphia. So that's what
I agree. Well, I know one thing you can do, Jerry, is you can, after the show's over, you can go to obr.org and take a look at that, and then you can sign up. I forgot you're right there in Georgia. That is a short, quick trip to Pinellas Park down there by Tampa. And what you could do is you can load up your 6 alphas and you can bring them down there, not only volunteer, but I know personally from being a volunteer, we love when people do special stuff for us after we've worked a hard day, and you could cook everybody pizza.
Man, that'd be awesome. I'd do that in a heartbeat.
We love when people do stuff like that. The other day when we were in Tallahassee, one quick little short story, they brought in an ice cream truck. And I can tell you, when you're on the Florida deployments, nothing makes you more excited. Just like you're 5 years old and you hear this silly little bell from the ice cream truck, man, you are just like, this is a treat and a half. And so I can tell you, when people do little things like that, when we were in Hammond, we had a gentleman that volunteered, and then he wanted for everybody, he went out and brought back in his pastelaya pot, and he cooked pastelaya for everybody. And we love stuff like that as volunteers. So yeah, so I'd love to see you as a volunteer. I'd love to see pictures of you down there in the next week or two and enjoying yourself, because I think you would get a kick out of it. Just the sheer volume of food that's moved is
it blows my mind.
Is incredible.
You guys talking about that earlier. It was really moving, honestly.
And I know when we were in Port Charlotte, we did 52,000. So I was a part of 52,000 meals, and you do load up. I mean, the night before, you're loading up, anywhere from 800 to 900 pork butts to get this volume to move through. And when you step back when it's over, it's just amazing when you think about how much meat and food that you moved through. So,
wow.
But yeah, no. If anything, if you don't want to volunteer, get in touch with those guys, and I can tell you right now, they would love to have some pizza cooked for them. So,
all right, hey, I can do that.
Reach out to them and say, hey, I was on the show with Steve, and he says that the volunteers always love to be treated special, and I want to come down and cook some pizza for you guys, for your volunteers, and they would love that.
I'll do that.
Thank you, sir. And then for everybody else, please get to the Pizza Cookoff Association. Check it on out. If you're interested in being a judge, please sign up to be a judge. If you're interested in just, hey, reach out and say, hey, you're in the Chicago area. Hey, you're in, you're in Mississippi, or hey, you're in Texas and you want to have a thing, reach out to Jerry. Let's expand this. I'm still glad to see that you're expanding it, Jerry, that hopefully next year we'll have you on again, and you'll be saying you did close to 30 competitions. So I'd like to see that.
Yes, sir.
So.
All right, Jerry. Thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
Hey, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me.
All right.
Thanks for coming on, Jerry.
Oh, another great show.
Another great show. I love when Jerry's on. I'm so glad that the thing is growing. It's such a neat different type of cook-off. Like I said, we're always talking about steak or pork or ribs or brisket or this or that. But I hate to tell you, pizza's near and dear to my heart. I've ever turned down any kind of pizza.
I'll have to reach out and see, definitely see if we can try to plan a little co-competition.
I think it would be a neat event, especially since a lot of your friends that they do belong with the Blackstone Griddle crew, and they probably more than likely have a Blackstone pizza oven, and I think that would just be a kind of a you could do a I don't know how you would do it. One day you could do 1 day pizza or half a day pizza, half a day the griddle, but whatever. I don't know how you guys work it. Talk to good old Jerry and figure it all out. And
yeah,
I think it's a great thing. So
we'll get there. So
I'm
sure we still got Roy in here. Roy, thanks for hanging out. And we got one other person, but
yeah, thanks for hanging out. Donnie Paul, I don't know what happened to you. I'm sorry, but Donnie Paul is in Eastern Tennessee serving with Operation Barbecue Relief. As we had at the beginning of the show, we had Emlyn on from Operation Barbecue Relief. I do, please, if you can, obr.com. I always say .com. It's obr.org to sign up for a volunteer or to do donations. It is a life-changing experience, and I'm proud of everybody down there. I am so excited that they were able to do 56. What did he? No, Emlyn said 59. Didn't he say 59? 59,000 meals one day. And, we look at it as a number and we get excited at 59,000 meals. As a person that's involved in the processing, you get excited because it's 59,000 meals. But you more or less, as I said, if you follow through the path of where it goes, that was in a matter of that day, they fed 59,000 people. So that's why you get excited about the numbers that you were able to help 59,000 people in one day. So congratulations to all of them. Keep up the hard work. Everybody in North Carolina, everybody in Eastern Tennessee, Pinellas Park, you guys are rocking it. Thank you as always. And hey, thanks to Jerry for being on the show again. And get to the Pizza Cookoff Association and check out what he's got going on over there. Let's see if we can grow his competitions for next year and see if we can, when he comes back on next year, we have a huge total, and that there'll be one in Chicago, maybe at the Griddle Battle.
Maybe. We'll see.
So
time will tell. So Until next time, everybody, we're back here next Thursday with.
Dun, 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 dun. We will have Christy Vanover from Girls Can Grill. Will be on next week. I already checked with her. She says she's good to go. I always like when the guests always confirm that they're good to go. Jerry did that too. I checked with Jerry because you never know. People's schedules change. So anyway, so Christy Vanover will be on next week. And then we head into November. And of course, as we know, November. Oh, just so everybody knows, Christy Vanover next week. The week after is what, Ryan? It's Halloween.
Boo.
Boo. Halloween. So there will be no show on the 31st. So we won't be doing that. And then as we get into November, we got a huge lineup coming up and we will be talking. So get yourself ready for Thanksgiving talk. I know we got Dave. I know Dave from Butchers is scheduled to come on. I know Harry Sue is scheduled to come back on. I know Sonny's going to be cooking some stuff live. So get ready for November and Thanksgiving. So if you have any questions about smoking, turkeys, the time, the sides, the whatever you want to do with Thanksgiving, get ready because we're gonna hit Thanksgiving hard because after all, I like to eat and it is one of my favorite holidays.
Yes.
So
and it's around your birthday.
And it's around my birthday. I don't know if we may end up having a barbecue love stop because we always do in November. Ryan might not be able to make it.
Let's see.
We'll see what happens. We just got to find a date. November is so packed in.
Yep. It's rough. So
all
right, guys, take care. We'll see you next Thursday.
See you next Thursday.